Hey, 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 Fit Mama. Jen Oliver here, your host of the Fit Mama podcast. This is the work in to your workout. Hey, and welcome to episode 60. I'm so excited to be here with you for episode 60. I want that to sink in for a minute because if you've been here from the beginning, or if you're a new listener, I'm so glad that you found me here on episode 60. I absolutely love connecting with you each week about your Fit Mama journey and introducing you to such amazing people that I connect with along my Fit Mama journey. And my journey has had its share of ups, absolutely, and it has had some really low downs. And I think this is natural for all of us. I think we all go through ups and downs. I think we can all empathize with each other on this. And, as Fit Mamas, we are a family. And if you search the hashtag Fit Mama or Love Fit Mama or the Love Fit Mama way, you will connect with me. You will connect with other like-minded Fit Mamas from around the world, which is really fun and really energizing, really motivating. And when I hear from individuals that reach out to me online, which I absolutely love when you do that, so keep doing it because it's so fun to connect with you. When I hear from Fit Mamas just like yourself, and they answer the question of what do you need most, right? When they join the Fit Mama group, there's some questions I ask you. And one of those is sort of what your biggest struggle is, right? And what you're needing help with. And often the answers to both of these, usually at least one of them, is motivation. And this idea of motivation, I'm such a keen and curious kitten about motivation. And actually one of my biggest role models and mentors and someone whose books and talks influence my books and talks and the Love Fit Mama way is a man named Dr. Wayne Dyer, who is now deceased, and he's amazing. I never personally got to meet him. However, I was heading to Maui, where he resided, about 3 months after he passed. So that was an unfortunate timing. I was really looking forward to meeting him. And anyway, but he was a large influence on me. And he's actually known in the literature as, quote unquote, the father of motivation. And when I actually read that about him, I was shocked because I wouldn't have thought of him as the father of motivation. And if you follow any of Wayne Dyer's stuff, or you see his quotes online, or listen to him on podcasts, or, audiobooks, or whatever you might have. So I really find that his stuff is very inspiring. And I guess when I look at it, I go, okay, yeah, it has motivated me in my life because I'm very motivated for the things that I desire or the things that I want to be a certain way. And one of those is my emotions and my mood. I really want to feel good all of the time. And if I can't feel good all of the time, what can I feel that will help me feel positive even when things are crappy, or even when things aren't exactly the way I want them, or even when things aren't going my way? Because I can honestly tell you, as a growing human, as someone who currently I'm 37 years old, but, I've been every age before that. And I remember so many times in my life where things were out of my control. I was forced into a situation I was not happy with. And I learned to cope with these kind of situations, which we all have situations like that, and they vary in the degree of severity and negativity as to how invasive they are or how disruptive to our life they are. But each and every situation that we all are in throughout our lives puts us into a opportunity, I'll call it, but it really puts us into a box where we can only think outside the box to get out of, unless we want to be a statistic, unless we want to be miserable, unless we want to be on drugs or live a life that doesn't feel fulfilling, right? And so many of us are okay with a certain level of that. And I'll include myself in that. I most certainly do behave in a certain way in my life that takes me out of alignment with what I really want. And that can amount to things like staying up too late, taking too many projects on, or too many clients, or overtaxing my schedule, not spending enough time with my children, or spending too much time with my children. And I talk about both ends of the scale, as sometimes can be extremely overwhelming. And my kids, I love them and want to be with them 24/7 until they're sick and they're home 24 hours. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. This actually is very intense. And it takes me back to those newborn days where they need you 24 hours of the day. And many of us, and I know there's many fit mamas who are taken care of and caregivers, primary caregivers to many children, or even one child with special needs, or someone who is requiring a lot of attention if you're in the toddler stage and baby stage. So there is a full gamut of where we can be feeling that overwhelm. And if you remember last episode, I was talking to Cindy Shin, the amazing naturopathic doctor from Toronto. She's just a beautiful soul talking about real stuff. And if you follow her, and if you listen to what she says, and if you take care of you, like I tell you as well, which I don't like to preach all the time, but I find myself really just encouraging repetition of things that feel good. What does bring you that feeling of good? Or what is that feeling to you? Some people call it contentment. Some people call it satisfaction. I just want to feel satisfied in the body that I'm in. I just want to feel content, right? Because sometimes feeling amazing is a little too far. And I know I'm often critiqued from those in my life who will say, like, you're a bit too keen. Okay, Jen, like, I get it. You're keen though. So most people don't think that way, right? And I understand that most people don't think that way, but you are among those few who think the way that you deserve, right? You say to yourself, I deserve to feel good in my body. I deserve to not have to obsess about food and what I'm drinking or eating all day long. If I want something, I have it. But if I notice I want something out of a reason other than hunger or true desire, because I'm going to be very fulfilled by eating or drinking this, then you're not using it, right? You're choosing food and drinks. You're not using food and drinks to appease yourself or to quelch or change your state, right? And there's episodes I've talked about changing state, right? We all want to do this all the time. So I encourage you to really question what is motivating to you, right? What motivates you and what motivates me may be two very different things. And even though we are both fit mamas, we are both motivated by love, and that directs to those around us. I want to feel true connection and love and reverence for all the people in my life. If I don't feel that way, and if they're making me feel crappy when I'm around them, I'm going to spend less time with them. And that's just something I've decided because life's too short, right? And I know you've decided this too, Fit Mama. We've talked about this many times. Is what's it going to take for me to fill up my time and space and energy around me with things that truly bring me the feeling of joy and laughter in my life? Why am I so serious, right? I'll be the first to tell you, I get very serious. And I was at my sister's my nephew, my sister's son's soccer game recently. And God bless, he's so cute. And he is just out there, but he is serious, right? And he wasn't looking at me. And I was like, hey, it's your auntie over here, right? I was trying to be non-discreet as an auntie would at a game, like waving, hello, right? Okay, he's at the age, he's 6. I'm like, I can already embarrass this little kid. Yes. And I felt embarrassed by myself too, so I get it. But I really wanted him to look over. And then I realized how serious he was taking the game and how serious I used to be. I was always taking things so seriously. I wouldn't even look up in the stands when I played basketball. I remember clear as day not looking up in the stands, not being distracted by people. I had to shut out the stands for me to focus because I was very easily distracted by like, hey, my friends. I would get all excited and then I would lose focus and I would be the one to score in the other team's net. No word of a lie. So I really didn't want that to happen because that was actually really embarrassing. So I'd rather be kind of embarrassed just saying, I'm not going to wave to you in the stands. I got to focus, right? So I got very clear on that. And my mom even said, remember when you used to be so serious? I'm like, yes. And I still am very serious. And I've always been so inspired to bring more humor into my life, ergo more playfulness. As I've been doing recently, I've been really getting back into doing my sports, but not taking them so seriously, right? Because that motivates me to go running and sprinting around a gym for an hour. I'd be bored. But for all of a sudden, I'm chasing a ball, I'm playing with teammates, I'm passing, I'm sprinting, I'm running, I'm resting, and then I'm getting back on. I'm chatting, I'm inspired in this motivated state. I'm not inspired to just get on my treadmill at 9 o'clock at night and do a sprinting routine, which I once was very motivated to do, right? And you look back and you go, well, last time I tried to lose weight, this is what I always hear. And I wonder if you've said this to yourself. And I know I've said it to myself. I've done this so many times. Last time I wanted to get fit or feel strong or get this pose or do this, dancing or whatever it brings you joy in your body, lift this much, play that game or sport or whatever. I remember the last time I did that, it felt effortless, right? It felt fun. It felt exciting to do that diet because it was new, right? I knew how to do it. I felt so good when I followed it. But then when I got out of it, it was so hard to ever repeat that and get that motivated again, which totally makes sense because there's a literal bias they talk about in the literature that says it's the newness, right? It's that primacy of it. It was the first time. It made such an impression on you. You were so motivated. You were getting results. You could maybe see your hip bones for the first time in a long time. I had a friend / client who was losing weight and she thought she had some kind of tumor on her leg because for the first time she had seen her calf muscle, and we laugh about it to this date in a loving way because she really didn't believe that there were muscles underneath her layers of fat. She had forgotten, but we all came from a tiny body, right? We all came from a tiny little body that grew. And it's not meant to go back, right? It's not. We know, we look at our children, they're growing. We can't stop them. We can't put them back in the baby carrier just because they were cute in there. God bless, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, I would wear them all over again. But my back actually just tweaked thinking about lifting them in this way because you see them now, they're much bigger. We can't turn back time. We can't change our own bodies and what they've been through and what they now do, right? And now we look at our own, we touch our own bodies, feel them, pull down your pants, pull up your shirt, literally if you can right now. I'm alone in the room I'm in. Can you touch your body right now? And what do you feel? What thoughts come to your mind? Because for me, my pants are kind of hanging over these tights that I'm wearing, which are really comfy. But then if they're at the wrong spot, all they're doing is bulging and I'm standing right now. But oftentimes, even just standing, it feels like I want to roll down. I'm a fan of rolling down my pants if they don't go high enough that I can go right over and they're almost like up at my ribs. So I'm feeling that right now, a little bulge, right? I'm just feeling like my belly's bulging. It feels like distended, kind of. I don't know if I'm bloated or what. I'm actually kind of needing some water right now. I do kind of feel like I would love to have some water. That's what I'm feeling right now in my belly. And that's bringing up my thoughts of my daughter who comes to my belly and she just loves it. She takes pictures. Or not takes pictures, sorry. I was thinking of showing you a picture that she did take. We crushed my belly with my fingers to make a heart in the center of my belly while I was kind of sitting up. And it made this little squishy heart in the middle of my belly. And so we got talking about my belly and she loved it. She loves soft, squishy things. She calls flubber, which really makes your belly feel amazing. When you were raised and conditioned like I was in this woman's body of this year and the past years, as you're easing into a more positive body movement, as I am, I think we can still easily get triggered by feeling like we're not the trimmest we could be ever, right? And even though I really feel kind of ripped at the same time, if you were to ask me how I feel about my body, I would feel like I feel really strong right now. I feel really toned right now. I feel really good about my body because I'm playing my sports. My body's doing what I want it to do and what it wants to do. We're feeling really good. But yet, as I feel my body, I kind of feel, okay, I'm still like feeling rolls. Okay, rolls, right? What are these rolls? These rolls are food. These rolls are drinks. These rolls are desserts. These rolls are my baby growing inside me. Now, my kids are now going to be, well, they're 7 and 5. So this year they're going to be 8 and 6. And I still feel like my body is in some ways recovering from having babies. And if you followed my story and you've read the Love Fit Mama Way, I share my back injury story. And, with the introduction and the older podcast as well, you'll hear my story many, many times over about my back, about how I have been on a healing journey with my back, which, sometimes I think I'm done the journey. And then other days I realize this is the journey. And I don't have as much judgment towards myself as I did in the past. And I will admit to lots of judgment of self. And this is something I'm really passionate about sharing because I know that we can get stuck there and we can feel not good in our own bodies. And yet we can also feel love for our bodies. And what used to trigger me more about my daughter poking, now it's just kind of uncomfortable, her poking around my belly. But what makes me feel good, right? While I can sit there and she can poke at my belly and call it flubbery and tell me how she loves it, she loves to squish it, bend over more, give me bent belly, she says, which I love in some ways because it's only not going to happen for that much longer because she's turning 6. And then who knows, how long do you do that to your mom? I don't know. I remember as a young teen, though, I'm not going to lie, if my sister's listening or my mother or anybody in my family, I used to chase them to touch their soft arms and bellies. And yeah, I kind of was always one who loved soft things. And I will tell you, I was probably 12 or 13 and I was still chasing my grandmother for her chicken arms. Actually, not going to lie, I'm 37, like I said, I would still reach for her little chicken arms. My grandma, Bubby, she's the cutest in her arms and she's soft and flubbery. So, maybe it's just my desire for soft, sweet things. So I don't know. But you know what? How does it make you feel when your kids point out something like that, right? She says to me, is my belly going to look like that if I have kids? Yeah, it is. And you're going to be so proud of it because look at the kids you got, right? Look at the kids. And feel the love that you have that you can only give yourself, right? Nobody can give you the love, right? Go back to my episode with my husband, right? God love him. I just would do anything for him. He would do anything for me. We are so attracted to each other and we are not hiding it in our life, let's say. But at the same time, it took me so long to get comfortable doing some of the things that I love us doing in bed sexually. But it wasn't because of him. It had nothing to do with him. He was always so positive, so loving, so open to me and wanting me to open up in ways that were not pushy, that he was just like, whatever. Or sometimes I look back, I go, what the hell? This guy was, whoa, he's amazing. He's such a gentleman. But it was for me to break down barriers with my own body, the words I was using on my own body, the way I would look at my own roles and imperfections and stretch marks or cellulite, right? Like someone the other day I saw, they were talking about cellulite online. I was talking about cellulite with Dr. Carrie Fullerton, who is coming on the next episode of the Fit Mama podcast, episode 61. I can't wait to have her. She's awesome. And she's coming on to share her intuitive eating and her food freedom stuff that she does, which is amazing and totally aligned with Fit Mama and the Love Fit Mama way, and what I talk about and what she's taught me, because I've known her for the better part of 5 years now, and she's just an inspiration. So I really can't wait to bring her on because we talk about this. And intuitive eating is really an important part of getting reconnected with your body. And she runs the Diet Rebellion, where she's really against diets. And I always say diets don't work, love does. And that's truth. Diets don't work. But what does work is tuning into your body, is feeling your emotions such that you aren't diving into a bag of chips or a pint of ice cream to settle yourself at the end of a really anxious, tough day, which we all have. And we can all find better ways. And I'm not saying ice cream or whatever isn't warranted when it is always warranted. Go for it. Have it as a part of your daily routine, in my opinion. If that means you are taking time to reconnect with the love of who you are and resetting, almost pushing that reset button on your motivation. Because the last time you did the diet, or you cut out sugar, or you did the cleanse, or you only ate greens, or you went plant-based, or you ate only meat, or whatever you did, that time isn't this time. It just isn't. And you aren't the same person because of all the things you've learned, even if you just did it 10 days ago, 1 week ago. This week, you aren't the same person. And if you go back, I have to check which episode it is, but I'm going to link it in the show notes, the episode with Zesty Ginger, where I interviewed them about hormones and the hormone cycles, and they have their free hormone guide. So if you go to the Fit Mama podcast site and you just search Zesty Ginger, they're amazing. Or you just Google Zesty Ginger Fit Mama podcast, you'll get the episode. And I really recommend downloading their free downloadable guide, which I save to my notes in my phone. And it's the best guide. Like literally, every week I take my chlorophyll, or I take my milk thistle, I take my coconut water, I take my pomegranate, whatever. It's so good. I take turmeric. My body feels so energized. And all of a sudden I realize that even though things change in my body, and maybe I've grown or maybe I've shrunk, and some things fit me better, some things fit me worse. That's just the nature of body changes. That's the reality of it. And it's my conversation with myself that will either motivate me or demotivate me. And I've actually now become an expert and have a PhD in demotivating myself, which you might be able to identify with as well. So I want to share 3 things that have really helped me to get motivated, stay motivated, be motivated, live motivated when I'm not, right? When I really just feel like, oh, I've done it all before. I'm not even happy. I don't feel like doing this. My body is rebelling against anything, right? Some days I just want to drink water and drink some bone broth and have some tea, or, some days I don't. And some days I want to take my supplements, and some days I don't. And some days I want to yoga, and some days I don't. And as I've gotten to the point of accepting of what is this really that my body wants today, not what does my head want my body to want today, right? That's like wanting what our kids don't want and wanting them to want it so bad when they just don't want it, right? We can't force them. My husband's a basketball coach, and sometimes he's so frustrated, and I go, okay, but you actually are not out there on the court, right? You only have so much control over how these things really go, right? So when we can step one step away and realize, what can we control? So I'm going to talk today about what we can control. And other than you going out and reading the Love Fit Mama Way, which I think you ought to do, and I think you would get a lot out of, and I'm finishing up the audio book in the next couple of weeks, which is super fun, getting it off to my engineer, audio engineer, the best person ever. And I just want to share this with you, what 3 things I'm really doing for myself. And this is something I've always done, which is why I'm like, why have I not shared this with them? I share this with my clients. My clients are privy to this. And this goes above and beyond the Love Fit Mama way. This is my way. And it really has been, everything for me. And the first one is really about creating a routine that feels good. Routines we can create and then they feel like pressure and they feel sucky and they feel annoying and then we feel like a slave to them. Okay, this isn't that kind of routine. Nah. Okay, this is the kind that you can't wait to go to bed at night to do, and you can't wait to get up in the morning to do, and you can't wait to sneak out away from your kids or your work for a little bit to do. It's the kind that actually fuels you, Fit Mama. The kind where you show up to your life in all the different roles and you feel like you can put in 100% in that role, in that moment. Your head is not somewhere else. Your mind and body are not separated and in different rooms. You are there. You're all there. And that comes from having a routine. Whether this is a morning routine, a nighttime routine, both, a middle of the day routine, a lunchtime routine, a toothbrush and floss, then do the routine, whatever routine it is for you, having that routine every single day. And with that routine, what you really do is you create rituals. Rituals feel good. Rituals aren't have to do's and adding to the to-do list. Rituals are like, if you're into coffee, do you miss your morning coffee? No, you don't, right? You probably have a ritual around it. My husband, he loves coffee right now. I stopped drinking coffee for a few months, so he's super into it. He's doing his French press. He's doing his, get the temperature boiling at a proper temperature, do it for this amount. Hey, Google, set the timer, let's go. And he's pro. And that's the way he does things and the way he created a ritual for himself around something that he's enjoying for himself because he's wanting it to create a mood for himself, right? Him to get in that mood of, hey, it's our morning, we're having a dance party with the kids, we're getting them ready for school, we're making lunches, we're having breakfast, all the things. So while we're making, cooking, eating, blending, juicing, whatever we're doing, it's a loud, busy time. And I know that by Chris or myself creating the rituals and the routines that we do, it feels exciting to do that, right? As we switch gears. So for example, Chris, I'll use him as an example. He likes to get up early. He likes to get working. He works at his laptop from like 4 or 5 a.m., whatever time he wakes up. He kind of has a natural clock. And then he gets working at his computer. He has tons of stuff to do there. So he does that for a couple hours till we wake up the girls, we get them going. We're busy kind of full on with them till about 8:30, 9 when we put them to school, walk with them, drop them off, whatever the case is. Then we're on our own clock from 9 to, whatever. He's off to work, I'm off here, whatever the case is. So creating routines in these little small segments of time when things are chaotic is good. However, creating routines that lie outside these times of chaotic are also really, really valuable. So that's where, my morning routine, for example, is I like to wake up before I even leave my bed. I put my eye mask on, I put my headphones on, I put on a meditation, and I go and I get into meditation. So whether I'm doing a guided meditation or a silent meditation, I start a timer, I start a video, I start an audio, I start something, an app, whatever it is, and I go to it. And then I do that for about 45 minutes to an hour. Mostly around an hour, I'm sitting up, I'm reading some kind of text. For me, this has been working for me about 7 weeks now, 8 weeks I'm going on. And I have been usually 20 minutes morning and night. I would do a little something. I'd get on my mat. That would be my meditation. Plus I would sit on my meditation cushion for a while. It would be all in all 45 minutes, including some movement. And now I've really started stretching that out. It's closer to an hour and a half when I include my movement and get my body either rebounding on the trampoline, doing stretches, my mat work, jumping, my HIIT, my treadmill, my weights, whatever I'm doing at that time. just to move my body, because every day with the kids, we do it too, because when we start to do our cat, cow, or what we call unicorn, horn and unicorn point to the sky, and then cat, unicat down the other way, and we get all the feelings through our body and our spine. This is our routine in the morning. This is our ritual that we create to feel our bodies, to feel back into our bodies, because they just went into, hopefully for 6 to 8 hours, a coma state, or a really different vibration and a different brainwave state where we were rejuvenated, hopefully. So the second step after routine and that ritual that you're going to create, or that I do too, is around repetition, right? Repetition. Repetition is really the key here, because we often think, oh, I'm going to start this new routine. We do it for a couple days, and then we don't do it anymore because we didn't repeat it enough times, right? We got out of our routine too quickly. It hadn't embedded yet. So some literature will say it takes 21 days to form a habit. I am more of the mind it takes 9 to 12 weeks to form a habit, minimum, usually. If I drop out of things or stop things between 7 to 10 weeks, it can still be a little shady, whether that becomes part of my lifestyle, right? For example, my toothbrushing, definitely part of my lifestyle. I do it every day, at least twice, and that is 100% part of my lifestyle. I don't wake up, I don't sit through my day going, am I gonna brush my teeth tonight or am I not? Or am I gonna brush my teeth when I wake up? Or am I not? Like, that debate's gone. But sometimes I still have the debate. Am I going to go to gymnastics tonight, or am I not going to go tonight? Am I going to go to that class? Am I going to go to the yoga? Am I going to sign up for the spin, whatever? Or am I not, right? So I'd say 9 to 12 weeks, which is why the programs and the clients I work with are 9 to 12 weeks long. The Fit Mama Foundations, 9 weeks. My personal coaching, private coaching program, 12 weeks. Very important for laying down those really, really, really hardcore repetitions. You need enough reps, right? We're like, oh, I want to get better biceps. I want my shoulders to be sexy and hot and buff. And then we do like 5 reps a year, right? Or what? We don't go to the gym. We skip out. We don't do this. We say we're doing yoga. We go once a month, right? What are the repetitions at? And for me, I know I record actually a lot. And that's part of repetition, is if that works for you, is recording, because I will get remotivated if I start using an app. And I'm not talking about recording calories, because that's very nauseating and annoying. It's too cumbersome. I really find that monitoring can be very handy, but over monitoring, like how many tablespoons of dressing did I have, this will kill you and your motivation will dive to the toilet. You'll be craving a pizza or some kind of pre-cooked thing that has already the calories written on it, because you don't want to go through the hassle. So don't do that, but do monitor. Did I listen to my body? Did I eat something that felt like I didn't bloat myself after, right? I had chia seeds. Maybe that's why I feel bloated right now. I'm just realizing I had a whole, my favorite chia kombucha. So I hope that didn't bloat me, but I do feel like a little bit of, maybe there's something going on here, let's just say, before I get TMI with you. Okay, so we are at routine and ritual was number 1. Number 2 is repetition and recording. And if there's long enough that you're doing this, that's why working with me privately, we work, or doing the Fit Mama Foundations, you get a book when you do that program, and you receive a journal where you fill out every single day or once a week if that feels better for you, right? But it's about getting into that routine and repetition of recording. Okay, really, really, what you monitor and what you measure gets done, right? It's like in the workplace. If your boss is saying like, okay, hand me these reports by this date, you're going to get them done. But if he's like, whenever you want, hand in whatever, you're probably going to go, what? I have nothing to do, right? There's some accountability needed on your part, or that's where I come in as your coach, right? And I help you with that, because we do need support in that area, right? Often there's a lot of things working against us. Ergo, we need to have someone watching out for us, right? And helping us through the times that keep becoming our roadblocks, right? Last The third thing I do, and helps me get through my roadblocks, even when I have my routine and ritual, I'm doing my repetition and recording, or I get stuck and I'm bored with recording, so I stop. I'm done with the app, or I'm done with recording on the thing. I'm not writing anymore, or I'm just taking a break because that seems too cumbersome, right? If it feels too hard and heavy, I'm out, right? I'm not doing it anymore. So the third thing I really want to emphasize to you is this: real life adjustments, Fit Mama. Adjusting to what real life actually has in store. And I've talked about this before, but I would not have probably gone on my trip around the world with my kids and my husband. I probably would have never sold our house and moved to a condo and given up certain things that I love, let's say, certain comforts, certain desires, certain things I felt made me who I was. I gave those things up readily and available because they weren't real life to me at this time anymore, right? Certain things that we think we value more than other things become less valuable when we realize what we really value, or what other things come in the way and start to be of more value. And we can change our values and our core beliefs all the time, right? We're allowed to do that. And that's adjusting, right? And I talk about this in the Love Fit Mama way, but also often on this podcast, right? Realizing that the only certainty is that things are going to change. So when we get on a high horse about this, that, or the other, it's time to remember when we finally got off that horse and decided, wow, we really were up there, right? And asking ourselves, what is real life calling for right now from me? And am I hell-bent on having something look a certain way when it's really not realistic right now? And I actually like myself less when I force it like that. How can I go with the flow? How can I ease my rigidness in with my realistic life as it is right now? Because I need to make this work for myself, right? I know I want to make my life work. I want to feel good in each and every moment. And if feeling good means going for a walk outside in my driveway every day, and I don't have a driveway anymore, I'm going to really be disappointed every day. But if I can start to value things that are not associated with that anymore, because I'm realizing, okay, I didn't really need that to make me feel the good feelings I really want. And it goes with motivation again, right? What we think, oh, I want to fit in those skinny jeans, and it doesn't motivate us anymore because we got new jeans and they fit nicely. What can be our new motivation for not speaking ill of ourselves and self-deprecating and being mean to ourselves and disrespecting ourselves? Because what if we could start doing the opposite of that and respecting ourselves and asking ourselves what we really, really need, and asking those around us for things that will help us feel good? And if it's their help we need, right? I realize how easy it is to do all the things for my kids. I can make their bed. I could do all their laundry. I could put everything away. I could do all the cleaning for them. I could put all the toys away after they play. Or I could have them do it, supervise them doing it, help them, assist them, show them. Yes, it takes more time and effort to teach them than to just do it myself, for sure. But that's with everything. It's worth the time, though, to get those around us to doing things that may help us, right? Not just saying, hey, I can do everything myself, right? Because that's the old superwoman desires of feeling like I'm not myself. I'm just trying to do everything, keep it all together for everybody else. Because that's not realistic anymore. And when you realize that, it's so much simpler to stay motivated because you're just actually doing things that feel good for you. And for me, folding laundry feels good because it helps my family. It gives me the opportunity to do my Marie Kondo style folding, loving her new way. Does it spark joy, or is it just cluttering, right? I love that. I love that because it allows us to really connect with it. And same things with all our thoughts, right? As we clean out the closet of our thoughts every day, the crap and excuses that gets in the way of us following through on our own goals, we can look at them each and go, does this thought spark joy? Does this make me feel good every time I think this every day? Because going back to my TEDx talk, how to love yourself to the core, I tell you exactly about this. 80,000 plus thoughts in a day. And 80% of those, which is a good 60 to 70,000 thoughts, are repeats from yesterday. And they're negative repeats from yesterday. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It sucks to be living in that place when the opportunity you have to get outside that box of the victim is to feel good now. Not because of what you bought and or own and or have and or did or do or degrees you have or don't have that don't define you. What do you really want? Are you really worth? Are you realizing that you are worth? I'm not even going to ask you, are you worth it? I know you are. Are you realizing you're worth the effort to create routines that feel exciting, not crappy? To create rituals around your favorite warm drinks. Don't judge what they are, just make rituals around them. Repetition and recording. Start to repeat things so often that you don't think about them anymore. Every night I do my stretches before bed. Every night. Then it's part of my routine. Then it's part of my ritual. Then I just repeat it every night. I don't have to go, is it today? Am I doing it? Because then it's probably going to get forgotten for a week or 2 months while life happens. Recording it helps, right? Showing up on that app, showing up at your journal or wherever you're recording, showing up with your coach, me, someone to help you, someone to support you, whomever it is. Finding that someone for you. And lastly, real life adjustments, Fit Mama. What is real for you right now? What is actually happening in your life? Not what happened last time you did the diet, not what happened last time when you were at that really hard gym and you killed yourself and you looked great. Not that time, this time. In this body, because your body is actually redoing itself often. Your cells are dying and remaking every single day. Different parts of your body, about 12 weeks to make a whole new liver. Yeah, if you stop drinking, I read this and I'm kind of keen to do it. If you stop drinking for 12 weeks, I abuse my liver because I do like drinking. Alcohol, wine particularly, and beer are my faves. I love them. And so I put stuff in my body often that it has to filter, right? The liver. But my body is creating a new liver every 12 weeks. So I can not continue drinking every day because I don't really actually think that that's necessarily healthy, but maybe, right? Some will argue with me, and are studies that will show you. But what is feeling healthy for you, right? Feeling healthy for me is taking care of my liver because I only have one. So I'm going to work with this one and help it, right? Support it. So what is working for you or isn't working for you? And without judgment, how can you create things in your life that are actually supporting you and motivating you, right? I needed some motivation around stopping to drink. So I talked to myself about my liver, right? And hey, Jen, do you know what you're doing to your liver every day? I could have found studies that would tell me, and I have this conversation with myself, right? Keep drinking, it's fine. But after a week or 2 or 3, I started feeling really good, right? And yeah, I'm continuing to drink when I want, etc. But how does it feel when I do take a break? And I went to an event last year, the Archangel Summit, where Brendan Burchard, if you don't know him, he's Oprah's life coach. He spoke and he was incredible. Brendan Burchard, he's amazing. He wrote something called The High Performance Habits, his book. He has a ton of books, New York bestsellers. He's amazing. He wrote the book High Performance Habits, and it's a really good book if you get your hands on it. I highly recommend it. So his book and his presentation talk about these high performance habits. And he asked the audience, what would it be like if you gave yourself the gift of 1 year to get in the best shape of your life, to get in the best shape you've ever been in to feel your best? Because how many of us say, oh, I know what to eat. Oh, yeah, I know what to eat. Yeah, I know what to do for exercise. Yeah, but I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah, well, I'm busy. Or I don't have money to join a gym. Or do you know how expensive that is? Or I can't eat like that. I don't have time to prepare. Or I don't have money for those supplements or to go see this or that person. That, Fit Mama, is a scarcity mindset around the abundance that is available to you through your health, right? And this all just starts with your breathing and all the things that I teach you at Fit Mama is just reconnecting with yourself and your body as it is right now, So really ask yourself, are you motivated by your goals? That's really the bottom line of this. Are you motivated by your goals? Or are you setting goals that are not motivating? Ask yourself that. Are you setting goals that are not motivating? I'm writing that down because I really want you to ask yourself that. And I've been asking Fit Mamas this ad nauseum recently because I can't tell you the number of Fit Mamas who are saying, I just can't get it to happen this time. Last time I did keto, or last time I did this cleanse, last time I did this diet, or last time I joined this and I was consistent, I got these results. And I can't tell you how important it is to understand that last time isn't this time. It can be better this time than it was last time. It just can't be last time this time. And once you can accept that, you start by creating new routines and rituals, repetition of them that are realistic in this life, this moment in time. Because your whole body, Fit Mama, is going to change over. Much like your liver in 12 weeks, your entire body, every cell that you look down or hold or touch or feel that is making up you, including every brain cell, will be gone, dust, and anew within 7 years. Within 7 years, your body is completely new. Yes, it still has your DNA for brown hair, maybe gray, depending on how old you are. But otherwise, this is a new you every 7 years. So feel your body, connect with it, because this body, this moment, this now is reality. It's not last time. This time isn't last time, Fit Mama. Thank you for being here. So much love to you. Thank you for sharing the Fit Mama podcast. Thank you for subscribing in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you go in there and you subscribe, you review, you share with your loved ones, your other Fit Mamas with you that will be inspired by the Fit Mama podcast. Thank you, Fit Mama. So much love to you. Have a great day. Namaste.